Hello, and welcome to Maker Monday with the Warren County Library System. My name is Sandy Roberts, and I am the Makerspace Coordinator for the Warren County Library System. Normally, I'd be coming to you during summer at our Makerspace at Southwest or visiting all the different branches, but this year, obviously, things are a little bit different. So even though we can't be together in our Makerspace, I am still here every week with fun programs for you, just like Maker Monday at 2 p.m. every Monday, where we will make and invent and create something new together. So, I have a fun project for you today. It's another fun upcycled craft using stuff that you probably have sitting around the house, which is kind of our mission this summer, is to take all those things that we have around the house and make our homes and our worlds a little bit brighter. Today, we are making these little upcycled tin can candle holders. Now, I know it's a little tough to see. I'm going to try and push it forward. Can you see? There you go. You can kind of see the light. So, I actually am making mine with constellations, and there's a reason for that. My family and I, one of our favorite things to do is to sit out on our deck at night, turn off all the lights, and stargaze and see how many constellations we can remember because, I'm a science teacher. So, of course, I'm going to want to look for constellations. But I started making these of different constellations that you can see in the summer sky as little reminders of what we're looking for. So that's what we're going to make today. Let me show you a little bit more of a close-up so you can kind of get a sense of what it looks like. Here we go. That's a little video of this candle holder with the tealight in it, just so you can kind of get a sense of what this looks like. So this is really nice because you can hang these up. You can hang them up in your bedroom if you want to maybe give yourself a nice night light. You can hang them up outside because they're metal. They're very resilient. And they're very easy to make. So let's talk about what you need for this project. Okay, grabbing my supplies from over here. Oh, big tray today. Lots of stuff. All right, so first and foremost, you need a can. And really any size will work. This is your standard, I think like 15 ounce can. I think this was like peaches or something. I don't know. But you want to make sure that you wash it, thoroughly wash it and remove any labels, any glue or anything like that. So you're going to need a can. Now, ideally, what you would want to do is fill this can with water or a mixture of water and rice or something like that and freeze it until it's solid all the way through. The reason for this is that when we go to use our nails to punch into the can can deform, okay? It can get banged up and get misshapen. So we want some way to stop that from happening. I am, however, working in an office today that does not have a freezer. It doesn't even have air conditioning. And if you're in New Jersey, it's a pretty warm day today. So I didn't really feel like frozen ice was a good option for me. So instead, I came up with a different solution. A restaurant donated me a ton of these wine corks. So I'm going to fill my container with corks just to make sure that it keeps its shape while we're working. Okay? So that's my solution to that problem. You may have a different solution to that problem. But the important thing is that you want to make sure that it's filled with something. Okay? So can, preferably filled with ice, or in my case, corks. Great. Now, you're going to need hammer, okay? This is a nice lightweight hammer. I think it's an 8-pound. Yeah, 8-pound hammer. You're going to need some nails. Pretty much anything will work. I like something. This is a galvanized nail. It's kind of fluted. It's got a nice big head to it. I prefer that. But you're really going to want to take a look at, and again, can you kind of see that? How wide the nail is, the diameter of the nail, and decide for yourself how wide you want the holes to be. So you might want a finer nail as opposed to what I'm doing, and that's okay. I've got some little finishing nails here as well, these tiny little guys. Here, I'll put them over here so you can take a look real quick. Where is my document camera? Here it is. Right. Oh no, 1 second. It's always something. This camera's being a little bit, whoa, I'm upside down. Okay, 1 second. This is what you get when you have to use kind of a little bit of random technology that you've got sitting around. This was all working, I swear. It was all working. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but I think most of us right now are pretty familiar with the idea of just making the best of things. Okay, come on, we can do it. And I'm going to try this one more time, and then we may just have to... Okay, well, you know what? We'll figure that out in a minute. I'll just show you the nails in just a second. I'm just going to try restarting this one last time. And in fact, I'm just going to go ahead and maybe change the port. I will mention while I'm doing all this, I am watching for comments. So if you have any questions while we're doing this, I am keeping an eye out for that. All right, so you need nails, you need a hammer, you need your tin can, you need candles. I'm using these little LED reusable ones, but you can totally do a regular candle, votive candle or tea light in this. You are going to need a bit of wire, okay? You can use ribbon or twine if you are using an electric tea light. If you're using a regular fire tea light or votive, you don't want to use ribbon or yarn or twine or something like that. But you do want something so you can hang. If you don't have wire, you don't have twine, okay, you can make a chain out of paper clips. It actually looks really cool. So lots of different ways to hang your creation. You will need a marker to make your design. Now you can freehand a design or you can print one out, okay? There are lots of printouts. I actually have in the description some printouts for constellations that you can resize and use that, and we're just going to go ahead and attach that directly to our can. So you want it to be, you know, a size that you feel comfortable with. That said, you're going to need a way to attach your pattern, rubber bands, or a little bit of invisible tape. Either works. Now, for finishing, you have a couple options. You can spray paint it when you're done. That's fine. Go outside, spray paint it. If you want to use craft acrylics, which you may want to decorate it, color it different colors, and they may just be a little bit easier. To do that, you're going to need your paint, a paintbrush, a tray, and you're going to want a little bit of sandpaper. In fact, I recommend sandpaper regardless of what kind of paint you're using. I also recommend some isopropyl alcohol to clean your can when you're all done. Get all the oils off. You'll get a much better finish. And then you may want to consider a clear coat at the end, like a nice glossy clear coat. But that's really up to you. Okay, so that's basically what we need. I'm going to try once again to see if we can get our document camera to come on up so I can show you how to make this. Alrighty, we're going to switch. Everybody cross your fingers. Everybody say a little prayer for document camera to work, okay? Not yet. I'm going to try one more time. I'm not sure why it's giving me so much issue today. It was working just fine a little while ago. There we go. So my my document camera is actually an old video camera that I got when I graduated from college. So some days it works, some days not as much. This is what I was talking about with the nails though. So you can see that they each have different different widths and diameters. So you could go with something really fine like this. You could go somewhere kind of in the middle. This is, you know, a basic, I think this is like a 2-penny. And then this is kind of a galvanized decking nail. So you have plenty of options, and it's really a matter of personal preference. I will say I prefer working with something that has a wider head to it, just because I find that a little bit easier to work with. So I've got my nail selected and my can. Okay. You don't want to punch onto the seam of your can. Zoom out a bit here, because that's going to be tough. That's where you've got a second layer. So you want to kind of pick a spot that you like. And again, I know that I am planning to paint this when I'm all done. I'm just using a couple of my tea lights to hold it in place for me so that it doesn't roll around. A couple blocks of wood, anything like that will work. I've got my pattern, which is the Big Dipper, Ursa Major, one of my personal favorites. And I'm just going to use a little bit of tape, okay, and tape that right onto my can. Just position it where I want. And like I said, you can find designs online for this. You can draw your own if you are so inclined. Whatever works for you, okay? Alrighty. Now, if I wanted to freehand directly onto my can, I'd just use a Sharpie, and I could draw my picture or just do my dots. If you're using the same pattern over and over again, you might want to just do a hole punch or just punch your pattern on your paper, and then you just go in with your marker and mark it. So that's what that is. And now hammer. Got my hammer. Got my nail. Oh, and I almost forgot. I gotta fill my can real quick. Shoop. So what I'm doing, like I said, I'm just putting in, like I said, a bunch of wine corks. Hold everything in place. And again, this is just so that my can doesn't get misshapen as I'm working. And since I had them laying around because a local restaurant very generously donated them for use in the makerspace, I have lots, so you can see I'm packing them in there really tight, very tightly. Not being around all my library buddies, I don't know. Not being as careful about my speech lately. I have to watch and make sure that I speak properly when I'm on camera, right? Do my best. Okay. Gotta do some more writing, that's why. Let's see if I can get one more in here. Yeah, there we go. So that's packed pretty tight. Can I get one more? There we go. Alrighty. So you see, I've just packed it with the wine corks. This is great too if you were going to be working outside, if you are, able to do camps. The wine cork solution is a great way to go because then you don't have to worry about hauling around a bunch of heavy frozen pieces of ice. Okay. Here we go. Got my nail. I'm just going to pick a spot to start. Doesn't really matter where you want to start. And it's pretty simple. You're going to hold it down towards the point of the nail very carefully. You can actually hear when it goes through, right? So there you go. I'm doing kind of a smaller hole than I did on my last one. There we go, all the way through. And we're just going to continue that for each of our holes. If you're having a rough day, this is a great way to get some of that angst out, right? Build something. Hammers, I find it can be very therapeutic. There we go. And I'm watching any questions. No, looks like we're good. Here we go. In this, I chose obviously a very simple pattern. You can go much more complex. And I would recommend if you're doing this, you may want to work on the ground or work on the floor rather than on a desk, which is going to rattle around. But make it work. It's rolling away from me a bit. There we go. One more, and we're done. Okay, there we go. So you can see I've got the holes in there. Okay, you can see the holes have been punched right through the paper. And again, you can save this paper and do it again and just use your marker to go in to each of those spots. Okay, now I'm just going to take this off. And since I am not doing any more cans, I'm going to go ahead and let it tear. Not worried about it. Okay, so now you can see what that looks like, right? I'm not quite done yet though, because I need a way to hang it, right? So once I've got my design on and I know kind of what I want to face forward, my can like this, and this is where I like to have a ruler or some kind of a straight edge. So looking at my design, I know where I want front, and I'm just going to put my ruler right across the side there and center it because I want the holes that I put for the wired hanger to match. So I'm just going to mark on one side and on the other. Okay, so you can see I've got a dot there and a dot there. And same exact idea, just going to punch a hole. Now I will tell you it is sometimes a little harder to get the hole at the top here. Come on. Oh, it's wiggling on me. Again, this is one of those times it's better to be on the floor. There we go. We got it. One. Now, I will mention, you may depending on your can opener, you may want to actually cover the edge with masking tape or duct tape before you do this because it can get a sharp edge. I have the kind of can opener that doesn't make a sharp edge because I am clumsy and I have learned that that is not a good thing for me. All right. Oh, this one is deforming on me. And there goes my coffee all over the floor. Oh dear. This is why the ice is really helpful if you're able to do the ice. Let's see, we're gonna try one more time. And this is what happens sometimes, you know. I had no problem with the last one. This one giving me an issue. Okay. Well, you know what? I've got pliers for that. Just fixing it. Like I said, it's a pretty forgiving craft, right? Now let's see if I can convince this that it wants to work for me. Work. Nope. Almost got it. Oh, I've got it. Last little bit. This is where it's helpful to have a second set of hands, but we'll make do. All right, we've got enough of a hole. All right, so now all I'm gonna do is, in my case, take out the corks. I'm gonna be very careful because you can see the sharp edges? You wanna make sure that you keep your hand away from those so we don't end up cutting. Okay. Okay, there we go. Taking those out, get those out of the way. Now, if you are using water, all you're gonna do is let your water melt and clean it out. Easy enough, right? Just let the ice melt. There we go. Like I said, the top bits are the hardest. Now, I suppose there's no reason that you couldn't just like hot glue it if you really wanted to. You know, it's not gonna be as weather resistant though. Okay, good. Now, let's talk finishing this, right? As I mentioned, if we want to paint, where's my, got an old paper plate. I've got some acrylic paint. Just gonna add to my little tray. By the way, if you're doing camps, these little French fry trays, you can get a sleeve of like 1,000 of them very inexpensively. They're made of recycled paper. They're great for putting all kinds of things in because they've got a nice high lip, and they break down flat too. So I love these for crafting and for camp programs because they're very easy to use. Okay, so I've got my paint, got my sandpaper. I'm gonna sand my can because you want to kind of get that roughed up so the paint adheres. I would do this whether I was doing spray paint or acrylic. Okay, you can leave it just as it is if you like that shiny look of the can. Knock yourself out. I want to make mine black so that all I see are my little twinkling stars since I'm doing constellations. Just doing a quick check on my time, looking, any questions? Nope, we're in good shape. Now, I'm using a pretty, I'm not using a very fine grit here, so you don't have to worry about that. Just about any sandpaper will do. If you've got an old nail file, that'll work. I'm just giving it a little rough up, so it's not, you could actually tell when it's not, when it's a little more dull, you know you've got it. And then, as I mentioned, a little bit of alcohol. You want to make sure any oils or glues or adhesives are off your can, so it's nice and clean. And again, whatever treatment you're choosing to do, I would suggest you do the same prep for your can. Okay. Can is ready to go. And all we're going to do, I'm just going to show you quick You're going to paint. Now, if you're using acrylics, several thin coats are going to be your best bet. You don't want to layer it on there. I think I did 3 coats and let it dry in between each one for the sample I showed you. So you're just gonna, and I like to use these craft foam brushes for this. You can use a regular bristle brush if you have it. This just gives me nice quick coverage. And you can see you're not gonna get perfect coverage the first coat. That is to be expected. Okay, so this takes a little bit of patience. If you want to use spray paint, you could probably do it with 1 coat. You might need to. And if you enjoyed last week's metal lid photo collage project, you can use this same treatment for the back of the lids. Okay, so there we go. That's coat 1. And I would let this sit and dry. I'm gonna wipe my hands because otherwise I'm gonna get paint everywhere. That's how I do things. I get paint everywhere. Now I'm just gonna pretend that I did my 3 coats, I let it dry thoroughly. Now I've got a bit of wire that I'm gonna use, and I'm just gonna take my needle nose pliers. You can use your hands too, if you are so inclined. Take my needle nose pliers, just fold each end up. If you can see that, make a little hook. And again, if you want, go ahead and use paper clips. They work really nicely for this. You can make a little chain out of them, make yourself a little paper clip holder. And then I'm gonna bring these together, okay, and kind of press this so that it's even, so that my holder hangs flat. Okay, just kind of pull that out and feed into one hole that I made on the side, and get paint all over myself because it's not really dry, but that's okay. And there we go. And up. And as you can see, now you've got a nice secure connection. Now, like I said, if you want, you can totally use ribbon or twine or yarn or whatever you've got, as long as you're using an electric tea light. Do not use a flame tea light if you're going to do that. And then it's just a matter of popping your tea light and you are good to go with a nice little decoration. All right, meet me on over here. All right, technical difficulties aside, we have another Big Dipper upcycled candle holder for my deck. So this one I'll give another couple coats of paint. It'll look great. Obviously, you could do whatever color you want. You could do multiple colors. I have a feeling my daughter Gwen would absolutely love to give those the rainbow treatment. She loves everything to be rainbow. But you can really have a ton of fun and be creative. Any pattern you can imagine. And all you need are a couple of leftover cans. So save those up, decorate your deck, decorate your room, decorate your front porch, decorate your car, I don't know. But have lots of fun with it. So I hope that you enjoyed that project. Once again, this is Maker Monday with the Warren County Library System. My name is Sandy Roberts, and I'm the Makerspace Coordinator for the library system. I am here every Monday at 2 o'clock. At noon on Mondays, I have Maker Camp over Zoom, so make sure you register for that. We are doing Fix-It Fairy Tales all summer. And then at 3 o'clock, I've got my coding classes. So right now, we are learning to make games with Scratch. So you can always jump in on that too. On Wednesday mornings at 10 a.m., we have Lego Lovers, so you can come and check that out. We're discovering art and engineering using Legos. And then we have our TREPS program. On August 8th at the Blairstown Farmers Market, my young entrepreneurs, my TREPS, are going to be launching their first businesses. So I really hope that you're able to come out and support them for that. Definitely mark your calendar, August 8th, 9:30 in the morning. They will be there with lots of new products. And then on Fridays at 4 o'clock is Friday STEAM, and at 5 o'clock, Tool Time. So we have got a ton of different things going on. Make sure you visit us over at the library website, because in addition to what I'm doing, we have STEM story time, we have regular story times, we have music, we have animals, we have magic, we have so many different events coming to you online this summer. We can't wait to be back in the library with you in person, but in the meantime, we have got lots of fun things that you can do with us virtually. Okay, I think that's everything for today. I hope that you enjoyed, and I hope that I get to see you soon. In the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep making. Take care, everybody.